Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khush aamdeed, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen, ishbata.
Pakhair Ragale, Ni Hao, Chudashumme, Washmale, Ohio, Guzaimus, Guten Morgen, Ola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifa Hal, Halashuma Chatore, Ahlan Wasalan, Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracia, Swabia, Bhalli Karaya, Marhaba, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into PTV World. You watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very amazing, the very energetic Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Ehsan Khan. Hello Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely great. Thank you so much for asking. How are you doing? I mean, a lot of our audiences yesterday missed you.
Really? I'm glad. Thank you very much for saying that as well. And this coming from a team member means quite a lot as well. Thank you very much for saying that. And ladies and gentlemen, I was just a little overworked. So I wanted to sleep for a longer period of time where I didn't have any limitations to my sleeping time. So that's what I did yesterday. I kind of slept all day long and didn't really want to get out of the bed. But eventually I had to because I had another program at night as well. So I had to go over there. But yes, inshallah, I promise that I will continue to serve you guys as long as I breathe. But not just that. There's one more very important thing, and that is that as soon as Shiza walked in today into the makeup room, it looked like as if Shiza is actually going to go perform at her annual day in school as well. You know, you're wearing a lovely waistcoat.
Thank
where did you get it from? You know, it's not very common over here in Pakistan.
All right, so surprisingly, it's very special to me.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why, because my Saas, my
Mother-in-law?
mother-in-law, yes, she knitted it for me. And I think it was very beautiful. I mean, I just went there one weekend and she had two sweaters knitted for me. One was this, one was in a turquoise blue color. And I was like, Auntie, I don't think I can wear the blue one on screen because it gets chroma. We have a virtual studio, right?
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, but you have to wear this. And I absolutely love it. And I think the gesture is so sweet as well, right?
Exactly, and I think that it's just about breaking stereotypes as well, where mother-in-laws are actually knitting sweaters for their bahu. Wow, I think
Why
that's
not?
fantastic, and that's a good news early in the morning. And I think that's the kind of relationship everybody needs to share with each other, ladies and gentlemen, where you compliment, where you gift something. And this is how things need to work. But other than that, Shiza, with women, they say that, women are actually great with memory.
Yeah.
Us
So
boys,
I hear, but it's not about me though.
us boys, we forget even our own birthdays, we forget all of those family events taking place. So all of a sudden somebody's going to call me and be like, hey, you know what, you were supposed to come to our place.
Yeah.
We are very forgetful, unfortunately. Why do you think that women are very good with memory? And that's half of the issue with married couples, because you cannot remember the dates, you cannot remember anniversary, you cannot remember, the date of birth of your spouse. Do you remember the date of birth of your husband?
Of course I do. I mean,
And does he remember your date of birth?
Yeah, he does, and actually he remembers dates more than I do. And this is why I was about to say, yes, it is very commonly said that women are great at memorizing things, and it does stand true for a lot of people. I can't relate to it. I don't know, man. I don't have a good memory. But yes, that is true. Generally speaking, it's because, to my understanding, it's because I feel like girls, especially in their school-going time and whatnot, they're really hardworking as compared to boys who are intelligent. Boys are smart, but they don't really want to put in that effort, right? They're so rough and tough, and they're like, oh, we'll just make it through, whatnot. But girls sort of take things seriously.
Wow.
I think so.
But somebody forgetting your date of birth and you taking it seriously is not a good thing. Okay, don't take it very seriously. It's your birthday. You need to remember it, not anybody else. But, there's a reason why we're actually talking about it, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we've actually been joined by champions of hair in our studios, and we're very lucky. We're glad that they've taken our time. For the very first time, I think that Pakistanis have been representing us, on different platforms where we talk about memory competitions, where we talk about international reading competitions. We're very lucky.
Question though for you before we do introduce them. Were you ever a part of such competitions at school level, like spelling bee?
Yes, Spellathon. Yeah.
Were you a part of it?
Yeah, I was, and
How
I
did you
didn't do
do?
great. That's what it is, I think. But I'm good with spellings. Not that I'm not good with spellings, but since the advent of these telephones, I think that everybody's lost their track on the spellings as well, because there's autocorrect, and then you just do not want to do it, and then they're going to underline if there's anything wrong with the grammar or the vocab as well. So yeah, let's keep that aside, because it's not about us today, ladies and gentlemen. We were lucky that we've been joined by these champions who are making Pakistan proud as well, and they are the pride of Pakistan. They have a lot of stories to share with us, and they have a lot of recognition all over the world for the kind of work they're putting in to make our country look great on the global map as well. Ladies and gentlemen, first up, we've actually been joined by that person who's actually preparing all of these kids who are doing these amazing things as well. She happens to be a global keynote speaker and super learning coach. What is that? We'll ask her. She is Miss Sania Alam. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum salam. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you very much for joining us, super coach.
Thank you for having us.
It's wonderful to have you over here. Alongside Miss Sania Alam, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually been joined by a champion. She happens to be world memory champion, and she actually holds 3 world records in what? That's something we'll ask her as well. And she is the one and only Miss Emma Alam. Hello, assalamu alaikum, champion. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. I'm very well. How are you?
Loving
Absolutely
the medals
perfect.
on your coat. I mean, absolutely loving it.
And thank you very much for joining us. And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, they're wearing green blazers because
Yeah.
yes, that's what we wear. But it looks black on the screen because of the fact that we have a
virtual
chroma screen over here as well. So I think that's the only problem. Otherwise, they're properly dressed. Whatever their uniform is. Alongside Miss Emma Alam, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually been joined by somebody who happens to be a UK speed reading champion. She is Miss Saida Kisa Zehra. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum. I'm fine. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here, and you guys are doing a great job, honestly.
Yes.
But super coach, super learning coach, we would want you to share. What are we talking about today? What are these competitions? How did you get to know about them?
Okay. So first of all, thank you for having us. We have an institute in Karachi, Pakistan called Institute of Human Memory Development International, and basically we are doing global work. But within Pakistan, we have extra focus because it being our home country. So what we launched was 2 years ago was super learning courses, super learning programs. And what super learning is basically how can one learn faster, memorize more, be creative thinker, and study and learn more in less time and faster. So this is what super learning is. And then we have many courses within the super learning systems that we have. And so we launched this because we wanted to promote mental literacy within Pakistan,
So
because we want to increase that, yes. And the reason behind this being is that everyone has the innate potential to be a super learner. We underestimate our brain's ability that, we need rote learning or we need forced, cramming of information in order to remember anything or read faster or to, learn and give exams. But that's far from the truth.
Yeah.
So the 3 top courses that I would say, and we also say them as pillars of learning, is called mind mapping, speed reading, and memory competitions.
And we'll definitely get into the detail of all of these. But you let me know, so these girls who are mashallah now champions, do you somehow reach out to them? Do you select them, or anyone can register with you?
So first you take training from us, and each one of our courses is just 30 hours.
Okay.
So you take them for your personal academic or professional life, but then those who have more time and are interested, they further pursue this into competitions that are international and world competitions. So these are some of those students who practiced, and we had a pre-qualification round, and they qualified, and so they competed.
That's
Very
wonderful. And
nice.
before we move on to them as well, super learning coach, there's one simple question which I wanted to ask, and that is that ever since we were growing up, we were going to school, we were very fond of ratta, I mean, I hope everybody out there understands this as well. Ratta is just, kind of having a visual memory where you just remember that, okay, this is what it says, but you do not understand
without the concept of it.
Yeah, that there's no basic concept about, so that's how it is. So what's the difference, when we talk about the kind of services you guys are providing? You said that it's mind mapping, it's speed reading, and then it's memory, right? So
And a lot more.
Yeah, obviously. But when we come down to memory, is it a ratta?
So there's this misunderstanding, misconception that because nobody knows how to learn, so they automatically, retract to rote learning. What's happening is when parents tell students to go to school, learn, they go to school, teacher tells them what to read, what to learn, what to memorize, but not how to read, how to memorize, how to study. And that how to is the answer that we are providing. And it's all about techniques. Very simple techniques that you have to learn in order to, improve your memory, improve your reading speed and learning power.
Wow,
Okay,
that's wonderful.
that sounds great. And now I actually want to move on to Emma over here. You are holding 3 world records.
Yes.
Amazing, congratulations on that.
Thank
But what
you.
are those about?
Okay, so in the memory competition, there are 10 disciplines. So that's 10 different ways that they test your memory. So that includes you're given like thousands of numbers, thousands of words, names and faces, dates, abstract images, and then you're given a set time to memorize it. and then it's removed, and then you have to bring it back exactly from
How
memory.
much time do you need to memorize? I mean, when you're in a competition,
Yes.
how much time do they give you?
So for dates, let's say they give you 5 minutes to memorize,
Okay.
and I memorized 190 plus dates.
190 plus dates?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and
in
then
5 minutes.
Yes.
Wow.
And then for names and faces, they give you 15 minutes, and I memorized 218, which was a new world record under Pakistan's name.
Wow.
Yes. And then there's words, and for
Did
words.
you expect you could do that?
Well, I've been training since the past 2 years for 6 to 8 hours for the competition. Because this competition is like the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like the Olympics for hockey, tennis, cricket. It's the same thing for memory. So initially I took the training for my studies because I was a struggling student, and studying just felt like an overload of information.
Yeah.
And so, but after I took the training, not only did I ace in my studies, but I also had enough time to compete and take part in the competitions.
Wow. That
Yeah,
sounds great.
because you were doing it before time, everything you were reaching out before you were supposed to do that. So,
Yeah.
I think that's great as well.
Yeah.
But speaking about, you memorizing, there are a lot of medals you carrying right now, alhamdulillah.
Yes.
And would you mind letting us know which one represents what?
Yes, so this one is gold medal for the whole championship.
Okay.
Then this is for the adults group.
All right.
Then these are for 2 of the disciplines, which is words and names.
Yeah. I hope
And
you
then-
remember that.
All of the ones, and she's not wearing all of her medals.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are just the ones she won in this
Within 2
competition.
years?
Just in one WMC 2020.
That's
Yeah. So these are the ones she won in this 2020 World Memory Championship.
Oh,
The ones from other 11 competitions, they're at home.
Wow. Siddhar, don't you rather think that, what are we doing sitting over here?
That is literally
What-
what I was thinking. Can I tell you something? There's this one course that I ever failed in my entire life, and that was history. Because I could not remember dates and stuff. I mean, I just thought, okay, it has happened. I don't have to, remember.
I mean, the
it.
only thing I cannot remember is how many exams I have failed in all my life.
I just
all
did
my
one, and I
life.
can't believe that was also in my 8th grade, and it was ridiculous. I mean, because I used to be a good student.
Yeah, it's
but
probably
okay.
all right.
But moving on to Kissa over here, congratulations, mashallah. You're a champion as well. Speed reading, right?
Yes.
Explain to us what it is, and how did you come around it?
Okay, so once again, I came around it because I wanted to improve my studies overall.
Okay.
And my parents introduced me to these courses, and I took them, and I was able to ace all my exams. So let me explain what speed reading actually is.
Yes, please.
It's basically, let me take an example. We have one book, and we take one academic year to comprehend that book, to understand it, to memorize it.
Yeah.
But still, we're not able to effectively memorize any
Or
of the
reproduce it,
information.
yeah.
Yes. Through the art of speed reading, we are able to speed up our brain processing power, which in turn allows us to go through a book within a few hours,
Okay.
effectively memorize its information, and immediately give its exam.
Okay.
But to my understanding, that means it's short term, is it? The memory of whatever you retained from the book.
No, it's not.
It
Because we
stays.
use three.
Oh.
Because for exam purposes, I would use all 3 parts of the super learning courses. So
Okay.
I would use speed reading, then I would mind map the information, and then I would use memory. So that information is kept effectively in my brain.
Exactly.
Wow.
So for the competition purposes, I get an unpublished book, around 100,000 words
Okay.
in the book, and maximum I'm given 2 hours.
Okay.
So but we're supposed to read it within minutes.
Oh.
We read it within minutes, and then I'm given a comprehension test of it. And
So do you skim through, or do
And
you
there's a
have to go through
comprehension
every
test
part
as
of
well.
it?
So it's not that you're just
No.
reading it.
No.
You really need to
They-
understand the information.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Wow, that's
yes.
wonderful. So, usually whenever you're actually appearing in an exam, is it like, you wake up 2 hours earlier and then be like, okay, that's
now
done.
is the
Like,
time to prepare.
That's what they do. So they only study for like an hour every day.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And they
Because
know it
that-
all.
Yes. And
Wow.
so they feel like we don't need to give so much time because we can do it. And
I
what
like
we are
the
saying here, Shiza, what we are
Yes.
saying here through our institute is that for 12 years basic education, you do not need 12 years of your time.
Yeah.
You can
I
do it
like
in
it. I like the concept.
1
1
to
year.
2 years
Yeah, yeah.
using these
Wow.
super learning.
Where were you
abilities.
when we were growing up?
I
man?
s-
Come on.
yes, that's what I was telling them. I was like, when I was growing, we didn't have such competitions.
Uh-huh.
Even there was a spelling bee, yes. But
I think
that
we
was
did,
it.
but we weren't that smart.
That too. That too. I didn't want to say it, but yes.
Okay, but ladies and gentlemen, they brought their own sheets as well because we obviously wanted to test them, whether whatever they are saying, are they going to fulfill that or not. So we have a lot of numbers and words and faces and names, but yeah,
Shazad has his own test.
because they brought in their own sheets, I wrote my own. So what we're going to do is, the first I'm going to give Shiza a minute. You need to think and, you know, kind of if she can reproduce the words. Let's
Are
see.
you testing me?
Yeah,
Okay.
towards the end we can do that, right?
Take
Okay.
it, take it.
How much time are we supposed to give?
You can give them 5 minutes, whichever you
Then,
want.
no, not
Basically,
5 minutes.
It's 20 words.
I don't know,
actually.
but yeah.
It's just
so-
20 words. Go ahead. Let's see if you can reproduce.
Okay, should I say it out loud or
No, not now, but you can just read them and let's see
Oh, this
how
is your
many-
test, Shiza, for right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just remembering the ones that
And
I
you have
have
to,
the
you have to,
feelings
you know,
for.
say
In order?
Say the words out loud in the same order I have written. Okay?
You know what? Okay. So I'm just going to read the words out for you
No,
guys.
no. Otherwise they'll know. You know, so-
I'm out of the competition.
Okay. So I think we're going to give it to Emma first. So
Yeah.
Emma,
Okay.
you'll only have 30 seconds. Go through them once, and then we'll see if we can reproduce the words or not.
Okay.
Okay, but I'll need the list back because I don't remember.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So meanwhile, you know, Emma's actually kind of trying to remember, which she
Yeah.
will obviously because it's just 20 words. I think what we really need to do is move on to Kisa, because Kisa, when we talk about speed reading, how do you actually comprehend when you've read the book so fast? You know, how do you understand? So this mental ability of comprehending and understanding in such a shorter span of time, what tools do you use?
So basically, we have specific amount of techniques
Okay.
that are taught through super learning. So obviously, I can't give a specific tip
Yeah.
that would cover that amount of information that they provide us, just through which we speed up our processing power.
Wow.
All
So-
right, to add to that question,
Yeah.
sorry. So what if there's a new concept in what you were grabbing at that
Yeah.
point? And you've never come across it before, of
Yes.
course.
So
I
it's
mean, there's no
another
limit to
yes.
education.
Yes.
So in that case, is it ratta or do you
No.
try to understand?
So basically, the requirement I would say is that as long as you know the language of the book,
Okay.
so I know English.
Yeah,
So any
yeah.
English book that I pick up, I'm able to speed read it, I'm able to
Oh.
mind map it, I'm
Nice.
able to memorize it. So knowing the language is what's key to any book that you want to put inside your brain. So
And
Even if it's
actually-
physics or whatsoever?
Anything, anything.
Oh.
You fly with books, man. That's how it
Wow.
needs to be. Yeah, you
Actually,
fly
the
with-
thing is that it's the processing speed that we have to increase of the brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we think, because since our childhood, we are taught incorrect methods of reading.
That is true.
Incorrect
That is true.
methods of learning, incorrect methods of memorizing. So that basically what we are doing is we're correcting those incorrect habits. And it's not like we will wave a magic wand and you will have
Yeah.
these super learning abilities. These are abilities that everyone already has.
Wow.
It's just that we tell you, okay, this is the right way of doing it.
Okay.
And with speed reading, we're talking about, let me just say how much we're talking about. We're talking about thousands of words per minute.
So
Which is
Sonia,
what-
can I just say that
I think Emma's ready.
I'm
You ready?
really booking you for my
I
child's
think so.
preparation of his
Absolutely. And you know,
education.
Shazad was saying,
Whenever that
where were you
happens.
guys when we were,
Yeah.
learning and growing up? But I can't say anything about that. But now we're here for your children.
Thank you
Alhamdulillah.
so
Yes,
much,
and the
man.
generation
Exactly, and
that's-
that's wonderful as well. And since, ladies and gentlemen, we have a super learning coach over here, so we're going to test her ability as well. So we're going to give her a list of words. You know, these are 100 words on the front page. So you take this one. And would you be able to remember faces and names?
Yeah.
Because you speed read, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
Speed
they
read
learn the
includes
same
all of this as well?
Actually, let me just state here, the sheets that we bought for you guys, these are the ones that they use in their competition.
Yeah.
And with that, the one that you have in your hand is called names and faces. And you don't speed read those, you memorize those.
Yeah.
You know, for, so for the name.
Aika we.
visual
Yes.
Yeah,
you
you
yes.
call it.
links.
I think
And-
I can remember Balak. Well, the names are different as well.
And what they do is that they change the ethnic backgrounds of the name and the face so that you can now relate a Pakistani name with a
Right,
Pakistani
right.
face.
Yeah,
So they remove all
that's
those
intelligent.
options.
Yes, but do we
um,
have a Pakistani name in there?
Yeah, there are all kinds of names in there.
Miranda Yui. All right, so I'm going to give it to Kisa. Can you please move it to her? Yeah.
Yes.
Give me my.
All right,
step
Emma,
back.
are you ready?
Yeah, and
I
you have to
think so.
memorize those words as well.
Sonia,
I'm
as
not
much
going to give
as
a
you can.
test.
No, you're not giving a test, but we just want to, kind of give our audiences the feel of how it might feel to know all of this or memorize it in a very faster way. All right? So, Emma, are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, so go ahead, please.
Okay, so 1 is furious.
Yeah?
2, I'm gonna skip. 3 is exhausted.
Yeah?
4 is delicious.
Yeah?
5 is anxious.
Yeah?
Okay, 6 is dazzling.
Okay.
Along those lines, yes.
7 is great.
Yeah?
8 is appalling.
Yeah?
9, I'm gonna skip.
It's okay.
Um,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Dune is, 12 is,
Why don't you go ahead and tell him the ones that you do?
Yeah.
Because you're nervous.
It's
Yeah,
all right.
so
Don't be nervous.
Oh, there's no
what
right
if
or
you,
wrong.
what
There's
if you
no
just
right or
look at
wrong.
this one? I'll read out exactly the whole.
This one?
Yeah.
Because she
Okay.
memorized this in
It's
competition.
like 100, 200 words?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Warehouse, election,
Yeah,
pencil,
yeah.
eggshell, investigate, elders, electric, utensils, ellipse, jade, nest, spy,
Are you following?
confused, enamel, milk, envelope.
Okay, we know it. You're a champ for sure.
Nice. That is
There's no questioning
Actually,
that
and
as
can
well.
I state one thing why she was forgetting? There are multiple reasons for that. Number one is obviously she's nervous because being in the camera.
Of
But
course,
second
but also
thing
we
is
gave her like a little bit of time. It's totally not
that was
Yeah.
more than enough though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
Yeah.
time
Okay.
that you gave.
Okay.
But the thing is, when you are memorizing, what they often do, and this is something they both do, and that bothers me really, is because they make associations. So memory is all about association.
yeah.
You know,
For
being
me it
able to
was.
link one information
Yeah.
with another. Often what they do, and we're trying to get past that mistake that they do, is they, for example, if it was an egg, they would put it against a white background.
Okay, okay.
So when they're following their journey back, so that white egg against a white background, they just pass right by it. So just give an example of what happens. And the sheet that I brought for you was a sample to, demonstrate
Yeah, and
what
we got
kind
that.
of,
That makes sense.
you know.
And that's great. But Sonia, since we're very short on time, I want you to tell everyone that where you're headed after this, you have been, mashallah, been called upon by a lot of ministers as well, congratulating you guys. Let us know all about it.
So yes, the government has been really appreciating us, and we are still waiting for our Honorable Prime Minister to call us and recognize what we have done for Pakistan.
Yeah.
These competitions have been happening for 29 years, and Pakistan won for the first time.
No way. Wow.
Yes. So, and on such a grand platform, there were
Yes.
16 countries that we competed against amongst 300 plus competitors.
Amazing.
So we're doing a lot of amazing things for Pakistan. So if for those of you who are interested in reaching out to us, you can visit our website at www.ihmd.co.
Okay.
There are a lot of amazing things coming up, and as for them and the rest of the team, they are going to continue competing and win back to back and represent Pakistan.
And when's
on
the
a
next
global
competition, inshallah?
platform.
It's an annual thingy?
So yes, it's an annual, but then there are countries who do their, again, they
Got
do
it.
their international competitions annually as well. So the one that's coming up is World Speed Reading and World Mind Mapping Championship.
All right.
like
And both of you are competing?
Yes.
Wow,
entire
that's
team will
wonderful.
be
We want to
competing.
wish you best of luck as well, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank
It
you.
was wonderful to have you. But one last thing, speed reader. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, can we have it back?
Sure.
Yeah, please.
Keep sitting, it's all right.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it's for the audience out there, and then you can say whatever you want to say. Okay.
So you can describe a person, then I can say a name, because usually they would hide
Okay,
the
so
name.
She
And
looks
with the
old.
one
She's
with the
wearing,
afro.
She looks old. She's wearing a blue coat and a brown cap.
I'll have to see the face.
You
Like,
have to
Can you
see
hide-
the face.
hide the name.
Yeah,
hide
yeah.
the
the
name.
name and
Hide
Yeah,
the
yeah,
name.
I'm
yeah,
ready.
that one, the blue one.
That's Quinn with a double N, Thompson.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay, this one, the guy with the long mustache.
Nagatani Jingming.
Nagatani Jingming, yeah,
Jingming.
that's wonderful. Okay.
like it.
The pretty lady on the page.
Ann Jones.
Oh,
Ann
wow.
Jones.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, whatever.
That's really nice,
I think
Kasam.
that the medals they're wearing is an open proof that these guys are smart and they've been investing their time in making sure that they're going to make Pakistan proud. And they are the pride of Pakistan as well, and everybody needs to promote. And Mr. Prime Minister, if you're out there, please, I think that you really need to recognize the effort of these kids as well. You guys are doing a phenomenal
Thank
job.
you.
Please make sure that you continue to strive for excellence.
Absolutely.
We had two more kids over here. in the
Yeah, you
studio.
guys wanna give a
we
shout
couldn't
out to
manage
them?
them today, but yes, please take their names. Who
So
are they?
we have the team members that are along with us is Shomi Alam, who is the French mind mapping champion.
Wow.
So she won the entire French competition.
Amazing,
And then
man.
we have Abida Athar with us, who is 7th in global ranking in the World Memory Championship.
Wow.
And she also won 4 medals.
And
This
you know,
is sort of intimidating, isn't it?
yeah, it's not intimidating, but I think that it's wonderful to know that
Yeah.
that there are kids who are smart and they're doing
Mashallah.
this as well, and that your families are supportive. And we're going to make you a promise: whenever you go into your next competition and you come back victorious, this is your platform. It's open for
You're
you
always
guys. Whenever
welcome.
you guys are
Thank
here,
you. Thank
let us know, and we'll have you over here as well and talk about your journey as well. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
It was wonderful to be in conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, people are getting smarter every single day, which is why I think it's about time that the world is moving towards something very special. What is that? That's something which we'll be talking about in the next segment. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Good
Good morning.
JAMSHAID Mosque, or the Royal Mosque in Lahore, commissioned by the sixth Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb in 1671 and completed in 1673, is the second largest mosque in Pakistan and South Asia and the fifth largest mosque in the world. Epitomizing the beauty, passion and grandeur of the Mughal era. It is Lahore's most famous landmark and a major tourist attraction. Capable of accommodating 5,000 worshippers in its main prayer hall and a further 95,000 in its courtyard, it remains the largest mosque in the world. From 1673 to 1986, a period of 313 years, when overtaken in size by the completion of the Faisal Mosque in Islamabad. Today, it remains the second largest mosque in Pakistan and South Asia and the fifth largest mosque in the world after Masjid al-Haram, Grand Mosque of Mecca, and Al-Masjid al-Nabwi, Prophet's Mosque in Medina. The Hassan II Mosque in Casablanca,
Welcome back to Well This Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are having a good morning with us. In the first segment, we were absolutely appalled by the kind of, intelligence we had in the studio.
Yeah.
And it is continuing, I tell you that, because Pakistanis are not stopping at anything and they're bringing a great name to the country. What are we talking about right now?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we said that people are getting smarter, so are our vehicles. You know, that's what we are talking about today because with the advent of electric vehicles, ladies and gentlemen, I think everybody is moving to smarter solutions where their cars have zero maintenance. You know, you really do not have to be you do not have to go get your oil changed or, something goes wrong with the engine because there's no engine at all. You know, so you have more boot space. But the only problem so far, since I am a car enthusiast myself and I'm in love with this newer technology and it's great and, the kind of options we are getting within these cars as well are phenomenal. But the only problem is that for people who are in Pakistan, for example, if I have to go to Khariya or Jhelum in an electric vehicle, that will be cool because I will reach my destination and then I can charge my car once again.
Right.
But the only problem is that, the most common commute in between Islamabad and Lahore, what you need is, you obviously need electric vehicle chargers on the motorway as well, which, they are not available. But fortunately over here in Islamabad, there are one or two stations who've actually, kind of given us this service where we can go and charge our car in 15 minutes as well. They say 15 minutes, but it takes 20 to 25 minutes as well.
But that's what I'm excited.
And you had to, sorry, but you have to shut down the car and stand outside, or probably it's your choice if you want to sit outside. But none of the, for example, the air conditioner is not going to work. So I've seen people pulling up in a Porsche, but standing outside just because their car is getting charged and it's hot. So I think that there are these few problems which inshallah we will make sure that we curb all of these problems as well. But over here in Pakistan now, Shiza, the good news is that there are people who are making electric vehicles by themselves within Pakistan and are making sure that they're available for the Pakistan market.
So now we're manufacturing, you're saying,
Yes.
which is great. And you know what, this is what I'm really excited about as well, because first of all, like you said, maybe there are no charging stations along the motorway or whatsoever, but since we are now manufacturing these vehicles, definitely there are going to be charging stations there.
Exactly.
That is a good thing. I feel like we're going to reduce the fuel price, consumption actually, and more than that, the fuel need then, which means, okay, we're going to do good. But the most exciting part is Pakistan actually came up with a policy as well, which is climate friendly, eco-friendly, climate sensitive for all these electric vehicles as well, so that when all the people do shift onto this, there is no harm to the environment. And this is something we are going to talk about.
Exactly. So ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by an entrepreneur. He happens to be the Director of Public Relations and Marketing at OJ Group. He is Mr. Rehan Aslam. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum salam. Thank you very much for having me. It's nice to be here.
Likewise, thank you very much. We're glad as well. But Rehan bhai, since we're very short on time, so we want you to take the lead and let us know what we're talking about today and what does the electrical vehicle policy states. And one more thing, and that is that how much duty do we have to pay on any electric vehicle which we are going to import?
Well, thank you.
But we're not importing, are we? We're manufacturing.
No, there are a couple of things which we are in our case we are manufacturing as well, but of course there are some players in the market who are importing, for example, Tesla and all that other things.
Yes.
So the electric vehicle policy was much awaited by the people of Pakistan, and we have been very lucky to put our input to have the government to prepare Pakistan's first ever electric vehicle policy. We just had rounds of sessions with the respective ministers, the respective departments, including Mr. Prime Minister, and OJ Group put their guidance and have put their recommendations to Government of Pakistan, and just to draft Pakistan's first ever electric vehicle policy, which is finally approved, and we are thankful to Government and especially Mr. Prime Minister. They acknowledged our efforts as well.
So and what does the policy state?
Basically, it helps to flourish this industry in Pakistan. For example, they are giving really good benefits. 1% is the import duty.
That's it.
Yes. If you import any equipment to manufacture electric vehicles in Pakistan, so the duty is only 1%. And the most important thing, there is no registration charges for ICT, Islamabad Capital Territory. If you get registered your vehicle here, so there is no registration fee, there is no token, there is nothing. You can do it freely.
That's
and there is 1% sale tax. We just requested Mr. Prime Minister and the FBR just to reduce this, because it's a new industry, but it is unstoppable and unavoidable now. Inevitable industry now.
Exactly, that's how it is, and which is why, I remember that last time I was visiting UK, I saw that they're actually making smart motorways now as well, for electric vehicles, so that they can, because now they've come up with the feature of autopilot as well. So, the car can drive by its own self as well, which is wonderful. But now, sir, since we were talking about import, so you said that if we import the material to make electric vehicle, the duty is 1%. But what if we import an electric vehicle? What's the duty then?
The government is working on that, and they're just going to issue different SROs. And that is under consideration by the government, because at this particular point of time, that was our primary focus. And what we were just trying to attract government to empower local manufacturer and assembler. So this is what we have been doing for quite some time now. And one thing more, one of our sister organization, Jolta Electric Bike, that is Pakistan's first ever electric bike, which is purely localized.
Yeah, the video went viral as well.
Yes, absolutely. And mostly national and international TV channels, they cover them. And that is the beauty of that particular product, is that is purely same infrastructure of the existing bike to traditional bikes, only the mechanism is changed. For example, for a man in the street, like the vehicle price is, for example, if you go for the traditional petrol bike, the price is the maintenance cost, the fuel, the tuning is approximately 5,000 rupees a month. Whereas with electric bike, it comes down to 1,100 to 1,200 rupees, because there is no engine, there is no tuning, there is no oil, there is no fuel.
Just the battery.
It's simply, just, and there is no noise as well, and there is no pollution as well. It's
Best
totally
part.
go green. It's too good.
Well, that's wonderful. But the most important question over here is now when we say or when we talk about electric vehicles, when we go out in the market, they somewhat, let's speak about Audi because Electron people are driving over here, and it comes without an engine as well. But it's costs similarly the same amount which it's going to cost me with an engine. Now with no engine and just the battery, why does it cost this much? This is a very normal question which anybody wants to ask, and which the reason is why I'm asking this question is because, okay, the government's giving you relaxation, there's no duty, you really do not have to pay for the registration, but then why do you think that the manufacturers are ripping us off when there's no engine, when there's no nothing else, and it's just a battery, and the battery does not cost, anything out of this world? So the cars and the products need to be cheaper, but they're not.
I would like to comment on that because it's not that simple.
Okay.
The battery is itself, because there is a different kinds of batteries which are being used, and it is of course demand and supply.
Yeah.
There are less manufacturers, low number of manufacturers who are expert in to develop the electric vehicle batteries. So of course for the time being it is a bit expensive, but gradually it's coming down.
Okay.
It's just like any other industry in the world, because for example, and ultimately it comes on the in the capex cost and the opex cost, because the one-time cost may be a bit higher of the asset if you're going to buy a petrol vehicle versus electric vehicle. Mercedes-Benz or the Tesla might be a bit expensive, but once you come on the operational expenses, so it is absolutely.
But that's what the problem is. Why is it expensive? The battery shouldn't cost us that much. You're just replacing the engine with the battery. That's it.
Yes.
But doesn't the brand come in as well?
I mean, it should, but it's like making a fool out of people. That's what I'm saying. Now, for example, I'll bring it down to Pakistan. Now, you guys are making electric bikes. How much does it cost?
It costs significantly high comparatively.
Why?
Because the raw material for the electric for the battery is not that common so far. Because the manufacturer and the producers of the batteries are also there. For example, there is a company, Zoxel. Okay. They work on the graphene supercapacitor, which are very ideal for electric vehicles, telecom sectors, forklifts, and maritime airlines.
Yeah.
They are very expert on that. But their product is very state-of-the-art product. And once we are using that, so the cost of the product is a bit higher for the time. But when we calculate with the once we go with the price comparison chart over the time, so you realize like it's the capex and the total cost of ownership is quite low.
Okay.
That is the case.
All right.
Okay, that I guess that makes sense to people who do understand this. I'll be very honest, I'm a little blank in this segment, but I'm going to take on to this from the climate perspective of it, because it bothers me, it kills me that up until 2000 or even, later than that, people were but just turning a blind eye to the climate point of everything, right? Because it's irreversible now when we talk about climate change. So we cannot ignore the fact that when we talk about bringing electric vehicles to Pakistan, the majority cannot afford Audi, like you mentioned, or electric cars for that matter at this point. So when you say you're developing bikes or manufacturing bikes, should you be or should you not be also catering to, well, smaller cars or auto rickshaws for that matter? Because that is where we need to kill the sound and the fuel, right?
Yes.
And affordable ones for
yes, tri-wheelers and two-wheelers and tri-wheelers. These are the major vehicles on the road. Okay. Bikes, and because most of the people are they can afford bikes and rickshaws. So there is a huge number, and they are the also cause of environmental pollution as well.
Major.
But with this point with electric vehicles and electric bike, Jolta electric bike and Jolta rickshaw, we are just minimizing it. For example, we had a series of sessions with Ministry of Climate in Pakistan as well, and different organizations as well. You must be aware about the annual smoke season in Lahore and Punjab particularly. That is just because of pollution, smoke. So we are just trying to reduce that, minimize that, because there is no emission at all.
Okay.
Because why? It's a total real revolution in the industry, because there is no burning.
Yeah, yeah.
Even few years back, few decades back, if you can say someone like there will be a vehicle, there is a moving subject which can move without burning. It was totally out of the box.
Exactly.
But would the battery
now
not
it isn't.
have a time to its
Obviously, there will be a time frame. The battery is going to wear off as well.
Expire.
How long will it take for the battery to wear off?
I think that maybe in a couple of years.
In a couple of years.
Because once we look at because most of the, if you see, not at the government level, but also the from private sectors. Mostly investors are jumping into this industry, especially in the charging industry, because there is it is not only electric vehicle and other industries being take birth on this. For example,
The battery
charging stations.
Yeah, charging
You know,
station.
so it is going to be common everywhere, and anybody who take the first mover advantage, that the first he will invest in this technology, especially charging EVs, he'll enjoy the first mover advantage. As you just mentioned, like you were in UK recently, I was in Shenzhen, that's in China. That is world's first city which commercial transport is 100% electric.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Amazing.
even their taxis, their buses, they are 100% electric.
Everything.
And Shenzhen is one of the cities, like it is most youngest in age, like its age is like 25 to 35 years.
Oh.
Yes, and they are really doing wonderful because
And
there
it's
is no
great.
environment. Yes.
And this is what we want to see over here in Pakistan as well. But one last thing before we wrap up, and that is that, you know, with, even with Tesla, you know, with all of these electric cars, what they do is that they give you a fake sound because there's no engine, so that anybody in the street would know that there's a vehicle approaching. But with these bikes, electric bikes you guys are producing, are we kind of going to listen to a bike probably coming towards us or going far away from us, because that's for road safety?
Yes, it can be technically it can be done, but it is not the primary feature of the product. It's not because that is noise is of course a solution. Noise is also a problem.
Yeah.
It's a pollution.
But a little bit.
Yes, a little bit you can do that. You can do that. It's not a
Or
problem.
probably just put a horn, man, you know, and just recommend people that whenever you're going in the street or coming out of a street, just beep it once.
Yes, yes.
But people over there, you know, in the Western world, you know, they think as if somebody has been abusing them if they just, you know, kind of beat their
Honking.
horn as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That does not look very good as well. But thank you very much, Rehan Sahab, for being with us. It was lovely to be in conversation. And we want to wish best of luck to the OJ Group as well and the kind of services you guys are providing. I think that's the way forward for Pakistan, where we are actually looking towards manufacturing our own products and then utilizing it for our own market.
Absolutely, and it is about time as well, since we are now moving towards a technological-based economy, technology-based economy as well. That's what we want. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any suggestions about the show that we did today, or still you have any questions, do write to us to let us know on our Facebook page with the name of
Well, this morning.
on Twitter,
Well, this morning without a G.
on YouTube,
Well, this morning.
and the repeat of this show. You can actually catch that.
5 past midnight. Till the next time, look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Good
morning.
morning.
Take care.